I want to play, if I can, two pieces of audio. First, Dan, if you can find the audio of Joe Biden on that television interview in Orlando, Florida. I find this absolutely amazing. I just want to play the beginning of it. We're going to come back to it later, but I just want to play the beginning of it where Joe Biden is asked by this TV reporter whether or not this kind of talk is Marxist. Listen to this.
I know you're in North Carolina now helping to get out the vote. But aren't you embarrassed by the blatant attempts to register phony voters by Acorn, an organization that Barack Obama has been tied to in the past?
I am not embarrassed by it. We are not tied to it. We've not paid them one single penny to register a single solitary
Not true.
voter.
We'll get into that later.
The best get-out-the-vote operation in modern American history. We've registered the voters ourselves, and so there is
Wait until you hear the details on that.
I'm embarrassed for anybody in Acorn who went out there and registered somebody who shouldn't be registered. But I'm not embarrassed because of our campaign. We haven't paid Acorn a single penny to register a single voter.
No,
but
just
in the past, but in the past, Senator Obama was a community organizer for Acorn. He was an attorney for Acorn.
Dan, can you get to the Marxist question? I'm sorry, I thought it was the first question there on the audio. I just want to get to the Marxist question because we're going to get through this. This Acorn stuff is just, I mean, this is just a blatant lie from Joe Biden that I shouldn't say that. He's right. They haven't paid Acorn a dime to get out the vote. They have paid them over $800,000 to provide lighting and staging, which they don't provide. So I'm not really sure what they did with that money, but he's right. Technically, it was for lighting and staging. Community organizers and lighting and staging people. That's what Acorn is. All right, here it is.
Senator Obama now famously told Joe the plumber he wanted to spread his wealth around. A Gallup poll showed 84% of Americans prefer government focus on improving economic conditions and creating more jobs in the U.S. as opposed to taking steps to distribute wealth. Isn't Senator Obama's comment a potentially crushing political blunder?
Absolutely not. The only person who spread the wealth around has been George Bush and John McCain's tax policy. They have devastated the middle class. We, for the first time since the late 20s...
Let's just go for the facts. They have devastated the middle class. We have lost 11% of the middle class. They have just suddenly disappeared. Barack Obama and Joe Biden can't find the 11% of the middle class. It has shrunk by 11%. Coincidentally, completely unrelated in Barack Obama's mind is the growth of the upper class of 11%. So you're right. It is disappeared. We don't know what happened. It's been devastated. Those people just fell off the face of the earth. By the way, completely unrelated, the same number of people are now just have magically appeared in the upper class, but they are not the same people. The middle class, hear this, America, the middle class is being devastated. We believe they may just been killed because the lower class has not grown in numbers. The middle class has just somehow or another, pay no attention to the upper class, the middle class somehow or another had just disappeared. They may have been killed and snuffed out by Dick Cheney and his cronies in Halliburton. 11% of the population has just gone missing, devastated by the Bush administration. Go ahead and play the rest of it, please.
The American people make over 21% of all the income in America. That wasn't the way before George Bush became president. All we want is the middle class to once again have a fighting chance. That's why we focus of our efforts.
Stop. Okay, look. He doesn't want the middle class. They are not aiming for the middle class. I told you on this program before, and of course it's not reported in the mainstream media. Barack Obama is on record saying he is not for reparations. And you think to yourself, that's fantastic. Listen to the rest of what he says. He's not for reparations because it doesn't go far enough. That's why he wants to move wealth from Joe the plumber to someone else. Now, finally, somebody... Oh, my goodness. It's not the mainstream media, is it? They didn't find this audio. Somehow or another, audio comes from an interview in Boston with Barack Obama in 2001. I want you to listen to this carefully and pass this on to your friends. Gang, this is the final warning. I mean it. This is the final warning. You cannot get any clearer on what is coming. It amazes me day after day after day after day that America just doesn't seem to care anymore. But you cannot get any clearer. If this is out here and this man is elected, you are going to elect the most arrogant Marxist who will not be stopped because he came into office fully uncovered. Everyone, do not pretend to be shocked when we begin to see a Marxist and who I believe will become a fascist president. And he will become fascist because he will not understand how you suddenly don't want to become Marxist. As he starts to change the Constitution, listen to what he said in 2001.
And we're joined by Barack Obama, who is Illinois State Senator from the 13th District and a senior lecturer in the law school at the University of Chicago.
You know, if you look at the victories and failures of the civil rights movement and its litigation strategy in the court, I think where it succeeded was to vest formal rights in previously dispossessed peoples, so that I would now have the right to vote. I would now be able to sit at a lunch counter and order, and as long as I could pay for it, I'd be okay.
Stop. Remember, he's not for reparations. He's not for reparations. That's the line that everybody will tell you if you talk about this. He's not for reparations. But what is the fundamental failure of the civil rights? You got the right to vote. You can sit at a lunch counter. You can be equal. But what was the fundamental failure of the civil rights movement? Here it is.
But the Supreme Court never ventured into the issues of redistribution of wealth and sort of more basic issues of political and economic justice in the society.
Stop for a second. Obama now sees the purpose of the Supreme Court to redistribute wealth. Even if you agree that the role of government is to take wealth from one to another, should it be the role of unelected judges and justices that do this? Should it be the Congress? Should it be the president? Should it be elected officials? Obama wants a radical interventionist court. He wants the court of Chuck Schumer's, and that is the court that he will get if there are 60 members of the Democratic Party controlling the Senate. Now, it gets worse. Listen,